Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faye. If you are not new here, thank you so much for clicking on today's video, and welcome, of course. So for today's video, I am bringing you guys part 2 of my makeup collection and storage. I'm going to be showing you guys all of my high-end foundations and how I store them. I'm super excited to finally be bringing you guys this series here in my beauty room because I know it is something that has been very highly requested. And yeah, now that I'm stuck in the house 24/7, I have more than enough time to film several videos that I have been needing to film for the longest time, and my makeup collection is one of them. So I did already post my drugstore foundation collection, so if you have not checked out that video, I will link it for you. And if you are new to my channel, my skin type is oily, so pretty much everything that I'm going to be showing you guys is going to be products that work well for oily skin. Doesn't necessarily mean that they don't work for other skin types, because a lot of these foundations are favorites of other people that have skin types other than oily skin. But I just wanted to throw that out there just so that you kind of had an idea of what my skin type is, and can keep that in mind as I'm showing you guys my foundation collection. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down below what your favorite high-end foundation is, or if there are any foundations that I don't have in my collection that you guys think I need in my life. Definitely let me know that down below. So yeah, I think that's all that I have to say for this intro. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the series so far, and of course I hope that you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and doing your best to stay home whenever you can, so that we can hopefully get over this hump and get back to living our normal lives as soon as possible. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you enjoy. I hope you watch to the end and enjoy every bit of it, and let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, so I'm back with part 2 of my foundation collection video. As I mentioned in the intro, I did already film for you guys my drugstore collection, which if you want a little sneak peek, here are all of my drugstore foundations. I went through all of these one by one and just shared with you guys everything that I have in my collection and which ones were my favorites, which ones were ones that I haven't really reached for in a while, and just all the ins and outs about my drugstore foundations. And today I'm back to share with you my high-end foundations, which are in this bottom drawer. So I don't really have nearly as many foundations in my high-end drawer as I do in my drugstore drawer, but honestly, probably just about everything in this drawer I'm absolutely obsessed with. Like, I feel like in my drugstore drawer I have a lot of foundations that I'm just kind of like, because you know, they're more affordable, you know, so sometimes you end up picking up things that you don't really love and they just kind of hang out in your drawer. But I feel like everything down here, I really, if it wasn't sent to me in PR, everything down here I really thought long and hard about before I purchased it, because these products are a little bit more expensive, and you know, you want to make sure that you're going to get your money's worth before you waste it. So I'm going to go ahead and go through everything that I have in this drawer. And we'll actually start with the foundations that I have down here. So the first one that I have is my Fenty Beauty foundation. This was the first shade that I purchased when the line originally launched. It's in the shade 370. But when she expanded her line, I actually realized that the shade 340, I believe it is, or 345, if I'm not saying the right one, I'll put the correct shade on the screen for you guys. But I realized that the shade either 340 or 345 was a much better match for me. So I have that one living up on my vanity just so that, you know, I can get to it a little bit easier. But this one I just keep in the drawer because it's a little bit of a darker, more warm shade. And it isn't the one that I reach for the most often. And then next to that, I have this one from Becca Cosmetics. This is their Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream Foundation, which is in the shade Tobacco. This one is a little bit dark for me, and I have the correct shade, which is Amber, also living up on my vanity, because this is one of my favorites. So I have the shade that actually matches my skin tone living up on my vanity, which I may have to bring those shades down, because all of the ones that I have up on my vanity are foundations that are high-end. So maybe after I go through all of these, I will go and pull those down so that you can see those foundations as well. But I do have that one laying down here in the front. And all of these ones that I have laying down here, they're laying down here because they're too tall to like sit up and me still be able to close the drawer. So next up I have this one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the, not really new anymore, but more recent launch foundation. Looks like this, really nice packaging. And this one is called the Luminous Foundation in the shade 450C, if you can see that. This is brand new, you guys. I have not even used it yet. I kind of had a phase where, well, not really a phase, but around the time when we purchased our house, we just had a whole lot of stuff going on, and a lot of you guys probably remember I wasn't really posting a ton of videos, but I was still buying so much stuff. So I think that was around the time that this foundation launched, and I had planned on filming a review on this foundation, like a dedicated review, which I do still plan to do, but I just didn't get around to it because I was just so busy with trying to close on a house and just all of that stuff. So I just have this still in the box, just waiting to be used and waiting to be reviewed. So if you've tried this out, let me know down below in the comments what you think about it, especially if you have oily skin. And then under that I have my Urban Decay foundations, which I am obsessed with. So this is my actual shade. This is in the shade 60CG. If you have not tried this foundation, I highly recommend that you do. It is so good. This is their weightless liquid foundation. It applies to the skin flawlessly, and it actually wears really nicely on oily skin. And then I have these two other shades down here. I have a backup of my shade, and then I have this one, which is 60WY. It's a little bit too warm for me. I'll show you guys a comparison of them right next to each other. I actually got these in PR, so I was able to pick out two shades, and I realized once I got it that this one is a little bit too warm for my complexion. So if you use me as a foundation match, I would recommend that you pick up 60CG, which stands for Cool Golden. This one, if you are more of a warm yellow undertone, but still similar in complexion to me, but just a little bit more warm, I would recommend 60WY. But I do still hold on to this one because it may end up working for me like in the summer months when I get a little bit darker and you know, a little bit more tan. But yeah, 60CG Bomb Foundation. Okay, so next up we'll go ahead and just start working down the rows, and I'll just start showing you what all I have in here. In this drawer, I don't think I have, these two boxes back here are actually empty. I just have those boxes there. The foundations are here, and then this is actually a backup of one of the foundations that I already have up here in the front. So everything is already pretty much, you know, all of this is pretty much what I have for my high-end foundations. So first up I have this little guy. This is the Cover FX Power Play foundation. This foundation launched I think 1 or 2 years ago, but it is a really good foundation. I have mine in the shade G80, which I think is ever so slightly too dark for me, but it's still, you know, I can make it work after applying concealer and, you know, all my other products. But for the most part, this foundation works pretty good as far as the shade, and the foundation itself is also really nice. Behind that I have my Too Faced foundations. I have two shades. I have the shade Butter Pecan and the shade Caramel. Caramel is going to be a little bit more on the neutral side. It's also going to be a little bit darker, but I think the darkness is more from the undertone of it and not necessarily the shade. I was using Caramel and mixing it with a couple of different other lighter foundations that I had on hand, and then Too Faced had a pop-up shop here in Atlanta that I was able to go to and have someone actually match me to a foundation shade, and they matched me to Butter Pecan. So I have been using Butter Pecan by itself. I do think that it is a pretty good match, but sometimes I do feel like I need a little bit of something to neutralize it a little bit. So you know, sometimes I'll add in a little bit of Caramel because it is more of a neutral tone. So I have those. And then behind that I have this one from Lancome. I used to be obsessed with this foundation. I actually heard about this from Jackie Aina. She kind of went through a phase, which she may still really love this foundation, but I remember she kind of went through a phase where she was using this a lot, and she was the person that actually put me onto this. This is the Tint Idole Ultra Wear foundation, and I have mine in the shade 450 Suede Neutral. I believe is what this shade is called. It says SUE, but I'm pretty sure that stands for suede. I'm almost positive. So yeah, 450 suede neutral. This one is really good, especially, it's good honestly for all skin types. But especially if you have oily skin. You see down here it does say up to 24-hour wear, transfer resistant, and yeah, this one's just really good if you have oily skin or if you just need a really long wear foundation. I would recommend this one, but it doesn't feel like overly matte or super drying on the skin, so that one's definitely a good one. And then back up to the front, I have some of my MAC foundations. I have the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade NC44. And then I have the Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation, which is in the shade NC45. Both of these are really, really good if you have oily skin or if you're looking for a foundation to last a really long time. And this one is bomb if you live in like a super humid climate like Georgia, or if you're going to be outside, if you're going to a wedding, if you just need something that is going to be super long wearing. This one right here is bomb. I will reach for this a lot of times. Like I said, if I'm going to be outside, if I'm going to a wedding that's going to be outside, if I'm going to be sweating, and this one holds up really well. So have both of those. Now these two, I don't really reach for these that much, honestly. I'll start with this one. So I have the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I have this one in the shade Tan Deep Honey. It's okay. I don't love the formula of it. It's kind of like a super thick, almost moussey, not really moussey, but I don't know, it's like a super thick consistency that I'm not really in love with. I do still keep it in here, but it's definitely not one that I reach for a ton. This may be a foundation that I may like better if I mix it in with some of my other foundations, but definitely not a favorite. And then I have this one from Black Up. This is the Mattifying Tinted Moisturizer, which I have in the shade 02. This is a pretty good foundation if you just want something like really quick, lightweight, you know, just to kind of even out your complexion. I personally am just someone that's either all the way full coverage or nothing at all, so this isn't really a product I reach for a ton, but I do have it in here, you know, just in case I ever want to use it. And then behind that, I have this foundation from Huda Beauty. This is the, what is this called? I think it's called like the selfie, oh no, the Faux Filt'r High Coverage Cream Foundation, and I have mine in the shade 430 Neutral Gingerbread. It actually took me a minute to get my hands on this foundation because when it originally launched, it was sold out for months, and then I kind of like gave up on it, but then I ended up deciding to purchase it. And this right here, you guys, is a really, really, really good foundation. Again, now I have oily skin, so I know I keep saying if you have oily skin, I have to speak to what I know. But if somebody that has oily skin and you're looking for a foundation that's gonna last you all day long, this is definitely one that I would highly recommend to you guys because it applies to the skin. Like when they say faux filter, that is exactly what it is. It looks like a filter on your skin, but it's super lightweight, and this honestly is one of the foundations, hands down, easily wears the longest on my skin. So if I need something that is gonna, you know, last me a long time, this would definitely be one of my top 5 that I would reach for. Okay, so back up to the front, I have the infamous Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this foundation, especially again if you have oily skin or if you're looking for a foundation that is literally going to last you a solid like 24 hours. This one right here is the business. I have 2 shades. I have 4W2 Toasty Toffee and 5W1 Bronze. I like to mix the 2 of these together, pretty much equal, like, you know, a pump of each, just to give me a good balance between warm and neutral. This one is a little bit more neutral, this one's a little bit more warm, so I like to mix them together to get my perfect complexion shade. And these pumps I actually got from Amazon, so if you're looking for a pump for your Estee Lauder foundation, these gold ones, you can just search Estee Lauder foundation pump and they will pop up for you on Amazon. Super affordable. I think I got both of these for like $8 or something like that. But yeah, y'all already know, I probably don't even really have to speak to this foundation. Most of you guys probably already know how bomb this is. This is literally like glue to your face. But it feels lightweight. It doesn't feel cakey or anything like that. It applies really nicely and it is not going anywhere once you put it on. So these right here are bomb. These are like OGs right here. These are the OG foundations. So behind that I have this one from Clinique. This is the Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer, another foundation that is really good, but this one is not my correct shade. I'm sure most of you guys completely understand the struggle of trying to find your perfect shade, especially when you're ordering online. So yeah, I've had this one for a while, but it is not the right shade for me. I don't remember if I mentioned what the shade is, but it is in 21 Cream Caramel. It's a little bit too warm for me, but this is actually a really good foundation, so I plan eventually on going back. I think they also expanded their shade range at some point too. So I want to go back and try to actually find my correct shade because this is a really good foundation. So back up to the front, I have two foundations from NARS. I have the NARS Sheer Glow and the NARS Radiant Creamy Longwear Foundation. Both of these are in the shade Toffee. Even though they look like two completely different shades, they are in the same shade, which is Toffee, like I said. No, not Toffee, Tahoe. So you can see there, they're both in the shade Tahoe. Even though this one looks much lighter, they're the same shade. It may be the packaging too, maybe, but they are the same shade. These foundations are bomb, okay? When I initially tried these out, I wasn't a huge fan. I tried them out separately, and then I watched a video, one of Jackie Ina's videos, and I saw that she actually was mixing these together. So I tried that and now I'm obsessed with these. I had like probably over a month straight that I was wearing these every single day mixed together, and I just could not stop wearing them, and I eventually had to like force myself to put them to the side and put something else in my everyday makeup stash to force me to use other foundations, because I was just so obsessed with how well they wore throughout the day, how long they lasted on my skin, and just how beautiful and skin-like and natural my face look whenever I wear the two of these together. I also really like to just mix this one with like my Estee Lauder Double Wear or just different foundations in my collection. I find that this is a really great foundation for mixing if you're into that. But if you have these two in your collection and maybe you don't like them individually, I would definitely recommend trying them out separately, because that is what made me obsessed with them. And then behind that, I have this one from Tarte. This is the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I have this one in the shade 47S Tan Deep Sand. So you can see it there. And this actually is a pretty good foundation. I was on the fence about purchasing it when I originally picked it up, but it is actually a really good foundation. I know Tarte has kind of been, you know, not really at the top of everybody's radar with some of the things that they have had happen with their brand in the past. But if you are somebody that enjoys Tarte products and you want to try out one of their foundations, or if you've just been on the fence about whether or not this was worth your money, I will say that it is worth your coins. It's a really great foundation and I've definitely enjoyed it the times that I have used it so far. So next up, back to the front, I have these. These are from Dermablend. These are multi-use liquid pigments. I have two shades, one that is a little bit more neutral and one that is a little bit more warm. And you can see the shades here. This one is in 45W, and then this one is in 48 neutral. Now these right here, you guys, these are super intense pigments. I like to mix these. You could wear them on their own for sure, but I do like to mix these in with other foundations that I have. If I want to make something a little bit more neutral or a little bit more warm, or if I have a more sheer foundation that I want to kind of give a little bit more coverage, these work really great for that. So if you're just looking for something to kind of add in to your foundations, or if you just want something that is going to be super full coverage, like these right here will cover everything, like everything. I think that's kind of like their whole, like the whole thing that they're known for, is that they cover tattoos and like all of that kind of stuff. Like this right here is not a game. So like I said, sometimes, most of the time, I like to mix these in with other foundations to kind of help with the shade or to help with the coverage. But yeah, these are bomb. Okay, so let me go ahead and try to get through the rest of these because my battery is about to die. But the next one that I have is from Uma Beauty. This is the Weightless Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. This is actually a foundation that I have not tried yet because I purchased it and then was planning on filming a video reviewing it, and then just haven't gotten around to doing it yet, so that is still on my list. So definitely let me know down below if you are interested in seeing a review on this foundation. I've heard a lot of really great things about it. It is a black owned brand, which is another reason why I wanted to support it, and they do have a lot of other really great products in their line that I want to try, but I just wanted to start out with this to see if I liked it first. So definitely want to film a review on this really soon. If you have already tried it, let me know down below what you think about it. But yeah, definitely looking forward to trying that out. And then behind that, I have a couple of foundation sticks. So the first two that I have are from Milk Makeup. These foundation sticks are so good, you guys. I have two shades. I have Amber and Golden Tan, and I always have to look. Okay, I think this one, okay, that one's Amber. Okay, so I think this one is actually the one that I use the most. This one is in the shade Golden Tan. Yeah, I think that one is the one. Yeah. So Golden Tan, I think, is the one that actually matches my complexion. Amber is ever so slightly darker, but both of these could honestly work well for me. I got these in an influencer box, I think, in like PR to try out, and this is easily my most reached for foundation stick in my entire collection. I am not a huge fan of foundation sticks, but these are so good. They apply to the skin, like they're not, like the thing I feel like with foundation sticks is sometimes they can be a little bit dry, but I don't have that issue with these at all. They're so creamy, they blend out beautifully, and these are perfect especially on those days when you're in a rush and you just need something quick to throw on, and it's still gonna give you that flawless complexion. So these are really good. I haven't reached for them in a minute because I've been trying to use other foundations in my collection, but this is actually reminding me about these, and I need to reach for them more often because they are so good. And then behind that, I have these from Anastasia. These are the Anastasia foundation sticks. I have two shades. I have Cool Golden and Amber. Cool Golden is going to be your more neutral shade, and then Amber is going to be your more kind of warm shade. These are two shades. Actually, Amber is a little bit more red now that I'm looking at it, but if I were to wear this foundation stick, I would definitely mix the two of these shades together, because Cool Golden, I feel like it's just a little too cool, and Amber, I feel like it's just a little bit too warm. These are another pair that I don't really reach for that often, if I'm being completely honest, but I do have them in my collection, you know, so I just keep them back here with the other foundation sticks. And then behind that, I have these from Hourglass, and I actually got these in PR as well. I can't remember if I got them from Influencer or if I got them through some other, you know, makeup, what do you call it? Like those companies that where you can pick out different things and they send you stuff to try. I don't know what you would call those, but anyways, I have two shades, Amber and Golden Tan, and they look like this. So this one over here is Golden Tan, this one over here is Amber. You can see Golden Tan is a little bit more on the neutral side, Amber is a little bit more on the warm side. Amber is definitely going to be closer to my complexion, but it is ever so slightly too warm for me, so I have Golden Tan just to mix in. These come very highly talked about, very highly raved about. They are pretty good foundations. I'm just not like a stick foundation kind of girl unless they're these milk foundations that I showed you, but besides that, like, stick foundations just really are not my thing. But I did want to try these out because everybody was just speaking so highly of them. They are really good, but again, stick foundations just are not really my vibe. And then besides that, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, back here I just have these empty boxes. These are to the Dermablend. Ooh, if I can get that back in there. Those are to these Dermablend foundations that I showed you guys. And then I also have another Too Faced foundation back here in the shade Caramel, which is one that hasn't been opened yet. And a lot of my like other products, like backups, I have in a completely different drawer. I'm not even really sure why that's in here. Actually, I'm going to take it out and put it with my other backups so that I can know what products I have that are, you know, things that have not been opened. And then all the way back here in the back, I have this. This is from It Cosmetics. This is their Bye Bye Foundation Full Coverage Moisturizer. I think it's supposed to be like a foundation and a moisturizer. I have it in the shade, what shade is this? I think it said it was in the shade tan, but this is what it looks like. I have not used this. I don't remember. I think I got this, maybe it was in an Ipsy bag, or I don't remember. But yeah, I haven't tried this out. I probably should, but I just keep it back here in the back because I can't store it standing up. And I'm just gonna go really quickly grab my other foundations off of my vanity, and I'll show you those real quick and then we'll be done. Okay, so it really shouldn't take me too long to show you guys these because a lot of them are repeats of things that I've already shown you, just the shades that are better matches for me. So the first one that I have is this one from Fenty Beauty. Like I said, I have the shade 345, which is a much better shade match for me than 370. This came out in her second launch of foundation shade, so I keep this one up on my vanity because it's beautiful to look at and I just like to have it close by. Along with that, I have this one from Becca. This is the Becca Ultimate Coverage Foundation. Again, like I mentioned before, this one is in the shade Amber. And this is actually their new packaging. So this is the old packaging. This is the new packaging. New packaging is definitely much more sleek. And I like that you can see the foundation color through it. So if you use me as a foundation match, Amber is definitely a better shade match for me than Tobacco is. And if you hear banging in the background, I'm trying to like stop every time it starts, but my husband is putting up shelves in his studio and he's just making the absolute most noise. So I'm sorry if you hear that in the background, but that's what that is. So besides that, I have these two from Urban Decay. I have the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation, the Urban Decay Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup, and then of course you guys know I have this one, which is the Stay Naked foundation. And honestly, I think I'm gonna put the Naked Skin one in my drawer. I have it in the shade 7.75. I don't really reach for this one as much as I reach for the newer one, so I think I'm gonna put this one in my drawer and bring this one up to my vanity. And then, of course, like I said, I have the All Nighter in the shade 8.75. This one is similar to the Estee Lauder foundation. This one is going to be great if you want something that is going to stay in place for a very, very long time. I would not recommend this for you if you have dry skin because it is very, very much on the matte side. But it is definitely a Longwear foundation that I prefer to mix with something that is going to give me a little bit of hydration because this one is going to be super, super matte, but it will stay in place all day long. And then lastly, I have these from Too Faced, the Peach Perfect foundations, Peach Perfect Comfort Matte foundations. I have two shades, Honey and Butterscotch. Honey is very, 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 very neutral, and Butterscotch is very, very, very warm. I really just keep these up on my vanity because they're pretty, and I'm not able to store them standing up in here and still close the drawer, so I just keep them on my vanity because I like the way that they look. But usually whenever I wear these foundations, I go with the shade Butterscotch, and even though it looks super warm and orange on me, I have these little foundation mixers from LA Girl. This one is a blue one, which is good for neutralizing or cooling down your foundation shades. And then I also have a white one, which is really good for lightening your foundation if it's a little bit too dark. So I normally will just mix the two of these together and it gives me my perfect foundation shade, since this one is a little bit too warm. But yeah, besides that, that is my foundation collection, you guys. High-end products. I will link for you guys at the end of this video my drugstore foundation, so if you haven't had a chance to check out that video, you can check it out after you're done watching this one. Lots of really bomb foundations at the drugstore, like they're really stepping it up. So if you are one of my beauties on a budget, which girl, ain't no shame in that, because I have plenty of times that I'm balling on a budget over here. And if it wasn't for a lot of the PR that I get sent, I honestly would not have nearly as much product as I have in my collection. So definitely don't think that, you know, I'm balling over here and I'm just buying all this makeup like crazy, because I am not. A lot of this stuff I have accumulated over years and years and years, months and months and months, and a lot of it has been sent to me. So yeah, if you are a beauty on a budget, like I said, ain't no shame in that. And there are lots of bomb products at the drugstore, especially recently. They have really been stepping it up. So I will link my drugstore foundation collection video for you if you want to check that out. But besides that, that is all that I have for you guys for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing all of the foundations that I have on the high end, or in my high end drawer. Also, this little organizer that I have all of my foundations in is from a brand called Sunny Cosmetics. I will link for you guys down below where I got it from, as well as a coupon code if you want to save a little bit of extra coins. But literally all of the organizers that I have in my collection, I have purchased with my own money from their brand, and I just reached out to them and asked them if they would be willing to give me a coupon code, because I literally buy all of my organizers from them. And I knew once I started filming these videos that I would be telling you guys that I got my organizers from them, and I would love for you guys to be able to save a little bit of extra money. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. I will have a link for you guys down below, and that is all that I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know down below what your favorite high-end foundation is and what part of my collection you would like to see next. So thanks so much again for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next one.